Hey guys, Jake from Michigan. We are in mid-December now, which means a lot of us are starting to slowly transition away from a hunting mindset and more into a habitat mindset. We're trying to shift our focus towards habitat season. Now, I know there are still a lot of states out there that their seasons go into January and into February, but here in Michigan, our season ends on January 1st. So a couple more weeks and we're done here for the 2024 season. So again, we're starting to shift our focus towards habitat season. And for those of us at Whitetail Partners, we are also shifting our focus towards property consultations. This is the time of year where we field a lot of calls from guys, from landowners around the country interested in a habitat consultation. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about in today's video. And within this video, I do want to touch on a few things. One, what is a whitetail habitat consultation? Two, who would benefit from a habitat consultation, or who are the landowners who are reaching out to us to inquire about a habitat consultation? And finally, we'll wrap this video up with several of the benefits of having Whitetail Partners out to your property to perform a whitetail habitat consultation and design your property layout. But right off the bat, let's just dive right into what is a habitat consultation. And this is how I would define it if you haven't heard of having a whitetail consultant out to your property. But basically, a habitat consultation is when you have someone out to your property who understands how to improve or manipulate the habitat in order to increase the probability that the local deer, and that includes the bucks, will use the property during daylight while at the same time creating predictable movement and low impact hunting opportunities. This individual knows how deer relate to different habitat types, different terrain features, as well as how to improve or manipulate existing habitat to encourage different behaviors on different parts of your property, creating that predictable movement. And like I mentioned earlier, this is the time of year where we field the most calls from landowners around the country looking into having a consultant out to their property to improve their hunting experience. And while we do field a lot of calls from landowners around the country inquiring about having a consultant out to their property, I'll just go through a few of the more common reasons why guys are calling us to have us out on their property. And the first one is they just purchased a brand new property for whitetail hunting and they want to set it up correctly the first time. They don't want to wait 5 to 10 years of hunting the property to figure the deer out. Should I put an improvement here? Should I put an improvement there? These new landowners want to make sure they are setting the property up the right way right off the bat, so they're reaching out to Whitetail Partners to assist in creating that habitat layout or property design. The next common reason that we hear a lot when guys are reaching out to us for a whitetail habitat consultation is they are a new hunter and they don't really know where to start. They might have inherited property or maybe this is family land that they've had for a long time and they're just kind of getting into hunting and they don't really understand whitetail behavior, whitetail movement, whitetail habitat, how we can improve the property to encourage more consistent movement, daylight movement. And so these landowners and new hunters reach out to us because they don't really know where to start. By having a consultant out to their property, these new hunters can learn a lot about whitetail behavior, whitetail hunting, and how to set their property up for years of success. The next common reason for hiring a habitat consultant that we hear a lot is somewhat related to that second one, except these aren't new hunters. In fact, it's the opposite. These are guys that have been hunting a long time, but they also don't understand how they can improve their property to have a better hunting experience. And a lot of times, these are the guys in Michigan that I talk with. They've been hunting their entire life, but they've been hunting kind of the same way their entire hunting career. Every year it feels like it's the same for these guys. They see a lot of 1.5-year-old bucks, the occasional 2-year-old buck, but they know it could be better. So they reach out to Whitetail Partners so we can get out to the property to put together a habitat plan, a property design to help improve their hunting experience. Moving on to the fourth common reason that guys are reaching out to us for a habitat consultation. And with this one, these guys are more experienced hunters. They've been hunting a long time. And they also understand habitat improvement. A lot of times these are younger guys, they're more active on social media. They take in a lot of content. They understand habitat improvement, whether that's bedding areas, food plots, travel corridors. They understand what they need to do. They just don't understand how to apply it to their property. And so they just need assistance with putting the pieces together. And so they reach out to Whitetail Partners for a consultation to help them, again, put the pieces together for their property. Putting in habitat improvements in random places on your property is not a recipe for success. We want to make sure that we're putting these improvements in the right locations to have that defined movement, to have that consistent movement throughout the property. And the fifth common reason that landowners are contacting us to get us out to their property to put a habitat plan together is that they are looking towards the future, and they are setting the property up not for themselves, but more for somebody else. And a lot of times this is a dad who is trying to set the property up for his children. A lot of times these guys, they didn't really have the best hunting experience growing up, and they don't want that for their kids. So they contact us to help get the property on the right track, and so they can start working on the improvements so that when their kids are old enough to hunt, that the property is ready to go. I've also had it where there have been sons that have been doing the same thing for their father. Their fathers took them out hunting when they were younger, got them introduced to the sport, but their dads had never shot a nice buck before, so they want to set the property up to give their dad a couple opportunities at some nice bucks before they have to kind of retire from the sport. And while there are more reasons as to why guys are contacting us to get us out to their property to put that habitat plan together, I would say those are the 5 most common reasons that at least I am hearing when guys reach out to me from Michigan. But now let's transition to what you will get. What will you get from the habitat consultation when you have Whitetail Partners out to your property? And these are going to be in no particular order, but the first one that I want to touch on is clarity. Once you have a habitat plan put together for your property, you're going to have a path or a roadmap to follow to improve your property. You're not going to be working on random improvements. You're going to know exactly what to work on and when, without that feeling of anxiety of doing something that you might regret down the road. Another thing that you'll have once you have a habitat plan put together for your property is unity. Some of the properties that we consult on have a lot of hunters, which means that there are a lot of chiefs or too many cooks in the kitchen. Everyone has an idea, and a lot of times these ideas, they don't align with one another. Having a plan put together for your property keeps everybody on the same page. Also, having a plan put together for your property will save you money. Making mistakes, wasting resources on improvements in the wrong place is frustrating, and unfortunately, that's a reality for a lot of landowners. Having a consultant out to your property to put a habitat plan together for you will help you do it right the first time. When you have Whitetail Partners out to your property to create that habitat plan, we also make sure that you have a prioritized work list. This ensures that you are tackling the most important improvements first to make sure that you see a return on your investment sooner than later. Like we mentioned earlier, a plan brings everything together. No more random improvements, no more random movement. The recommended habitat improvements on your property will connect and work with one another, creating that predictable and consistent movement. You're also going to understand both the strengths and the weaknesses of your property. Not every property is the same, and we want to do this so we can leverage those strengths, but also improve upon the weaknesses to make sure that you have the best results. Also, to ensure that you get the best results, that means that you need to have access to the best products. And so we make sure that we give you recommendations on everything that we're using. So recommendations on the best seeds, tree plantings, equipment, tools, everything that we use personally on our properties to ensure your property has the best chance of success. Another benefit of having Whitetail Partners out to your property to put a habitat plan together for you, and this is after you put in the improvements, would be increased property value. For those of you guys that are in the market for hunting property right now know this, land values are increasing, especially the properties that are already set up for better hunting opportunities. Buyers will pay more for a property that's turnkey or already set up for great whitetail hunting. And finally, the last benefit of having Whitetail Partners out to assist with your hunting property are the results. Regardless of what your goals are, having a consultation for your whitetail property will help you have better hunting from a systematic approach. If you guys are interested in learning more about a consultation or more about Whitetail Partners, please head over to our website, www.whitetailpartners.com. There's a lot of information, a lot of great content on the website. We have articles on the website, a podcast, our YouTube channel, which is what you're likely watching this on. There's a lot of great stuff on that website, guys. There's something for everybody. So if you haven't already, please go check it out. And if you're interested in having us out to your property, please reach out and let us know how we can help you change your property for good.